Hey, I'm Cameron McKenzie. I'm the editor-in-chief at theserverside.com, and I want to quickly show you how to fix the Bitbucket fatal invalid credentials error and create a new app password for Bitbucket. Now, as you can see, I've got a repository over on my local file system, and I've added a file named data.json, and that file is not up on the Bitbucket server. So I've done my git add and I've done my git commit. All I need to do now is do a git push. All of a sudden, the Bitbucket credential manager will come up. I'll type in my credentials. I always have to type it in one more time, but even though I have put in the correct password here twice, boom, all of a sudden I get this error message and it says, hey, this is a fatal error, invalid credentials, app passwords are recommended for most use cases. You need to use them. So how do you use an app password? Well, here's what you do. What you've got to do is you've got to actually go into a Bitbucket. And if you go in desktop mode, you should see a handsome picture of yourself in that profile window to the top. And then you come down to personal settings. Click on that personal settings button and you'll notice that there's an option over on the left for app passwords. Click on app passwords and you'll notice I don't have any. So click the beautiful blue button that says create app password and give it a label. I'm going to call this one all access. And I'm going to check every button on this screen. And I can do it fairly easily here just by clicking the highest value for each of these options. There we go. We now have a Bitbucket app password that allows you to do just about everything. Now you'll be given your all access password right here. Copy it, because once it goes away, once they no longer show you what this password is, you don't have access to it anymore. That's one of the great things about these passwords. They're not easily reproducible by you, a gangster, or even the Bitbucket tool. Now what do? Well, you just go back to your repository. As I mentioned before, I do have that file that I wanted to push up to my repo. Let's see if I can get back to my repo here and see what's hanging around in that repository. Well, you notice that I still don't have that data.json file, but let's do a git push. Well, the Atlassian prompt comes up. I'm going to paste in that password. And boom, all of a sudden, all the files get pushed up to Bitbucket. And if I do a little refresh on this page, you'll notice, boom, once again, we've got that data.json file there. And there you go. That's how easy it is to create a Bitbucket app password and avoid that fatal authentication failed error Bitbucket will do if you try and do a push to the repo without that app password. Now, if you enjoyed that tutorial, why don't you head over to theserverside.com. I'm the editor-in-chief over there, and we got lots of great tutorials on Git, Bitbucket, and DevOps, microservices, software development, Scrum, Agile, you name it. If you're interested in my personal antics, you can always follow me on Twitter at CameronMCNZ. And why don't you subscribe on the YouTube?